Hi everyone, I am back with a TV series review of Nothing Trivial. Now, you may not have heard of it before, only because it's not from US or Canada. It's not a North American show. It's actually based from New Zealand. And the reason I'm talking about this show is for one main reason that I got into it was because of an actor called Shane Cortese. He is a British actor who lives in New Zealand, and I had seen another show of him in which he was called The Almighty Johnsons. So if you saw my review on that one, you would know that I love that show. And Shane played a role in that. He was more of a guest appearance, but it was a recurring role, like through especially through seasons two and three. Um, so he was in that show. So I really loved him in that show. His acting was phenomenal. He was the most annoying character on the show, or one of the most annoying, but he nailed the job. And I kind of walked into that this show. I stumbled upon it because of that show. And so the show is very different from The Almighty Johnsons. It's about five central characters played by Blair Strang, Debbie Newby Ward, um, Tandy Wright, Shane Cortese, Nicole Whippy. Now, these five characters are meeting, some of them, most of them are meeting for the first time at this pub called The Beagle. And there's a pub quiz that happens uh, on a weekly basis. And uh, the actors playing Blair, which is Brian, and Mac, played by Shane Cortese, are childhood best friends, and they had a team. And Brian puts up this new team together of four people, where Tandy's not part of it at this point. And they meet these new people, and the story is about how they become these best friends, all five people, how they meet and they become best friends, and how their lives are affected by what's happened meeting in this pub quiz. Now, I know this show sounds kind of strange in a way, and believe you me, I understand that because that's what I thought too when I saw the description of the show. I was like, do I really want to watch this? I don't know. I'll give it a shot. And I started watching the show. And the first episode is basically setting up the characters and how they're meeting and what happens and how the quiz goes and how we meet some of the other characters. However, what happens is the show in episode two takes off in terms of these stories, how they are now getting connected with each other, getting to know each other, and how they form these lifelong friendships. Each character has their own backstory, their own struggles, and you see them progress through life and how they become very close knit friends, part of their lives with each other, and what happens between these characters is a central part of the story. Now, it's an amazing show because the way the screenplay, the writing is done for each episode, it's hilarious. It is sad. It brings emotions out in you. It really did in me. Like, I am telling you, the first season, like when I was watching it, I am happy, I'm sad, I am angry. I'm going through all of these emotions with these characters because the way they've designed it, it's really well done. And these actors do a phenomenal job of portraying them. And then in season two, you get into season two, you see more growth in these characters and what happens and going through their ups and downs of their relationships. And there are other characters in there too. I don't want to do any other spoilers and to just give you a head start on what the show is about so that you can kind of have a understanding of it. And then the first two seasons are phenomenal. I love them, amazing. Season three, because my emotions ran high watching the show. Season three was a little hard to watch, especially the first few episodes, because the kind of things that these characters are doing, even though you almost expect it from them, you are still angry at them sometimes. And I'm literally yelling at the TV. I haven't done that in so long. It's crazy. Like, I loved Almighty Johnson, don't get me wrong. But with this show, my emotions ran high, and I'm literally screaming at my screen sometimes. And I'm going through ups and downs as the show goes through ups and downs. So the first few episodes of the season three are not that great. I didn't enjoy them as much. I was more upset and more angry sometimes. But the way season 3 ends leaves you hanging. And what the problem with that is that there's no season 4. However, there's a movie which I haven't had a chance to watch, but I did do my research and I find out what actually happens. It's the finale, basically. What they do is the show probably gets canceled after season 3, but they need to wrap things up because they really leave a huge issue in, like, the show ends with a with like a bang, and you're like literally left hanging. So they do need to wrap it up and make sure that they get a good ending of the show. So see, they have a movie, or 2 hour movie, which I haven't watched yet, but I do know what happens in it. So if you're watching season 3 and you're like, oh, what do I do now? Don't worry, there's a movie. You can watch it if you want. You'll have to find it. It's not on Amazon Prime. By the way, this show is also on Amazon Prime, just like The Almighty Johnsons. But it's a show that it's an old show. It ran from 2011 to 2014, similar time frames to Almighty Johnson's. But I'm telling you, this show is so different, and my emotions ran really high, and I really enjoyed the show. Special shout out to Aaron Ward, who plays the quizmaster, amazing. Will Hall, played by Corey, played by Will Hall, um, very irritating but amusing at the same time. um, and there are some amazing other characters as well, which I don't have time to mention, as I've already gone quite a bit over with this um, uh, review. But it's really worth watching because it's one of those shows where you actually go through the emotions with the characters. The way the stories are written and the way these actors portray them is beautifully done, very brilliantly done, and you enjoy it. Your emotions go up and down. Like, I haven't enjoyed this much. Even I enjoyed it even more than Almighty Johnson's, because this was more of a relationships between these characters and what happens and how they are going through struggles in life. And Almighty Johnson's was more of a fantasy show. This was more of a realistic show. Really worth watching. Highly recommend it. I would give it 10 out of 10 review. The only reason I would not do that is because of season 3, where, as I said, I was angry at these characters a lot of times, but it's still worth watching. And I'm still going to find that movie. It's not on Amazon Prime, but I will try and find it. So please let me know if you've seen the show and what your thoughts are. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch this show on Amazon Prime.